Oh, itu apa aku? Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. We are from the first group, and we would like to present our mini research about syntax. Before we start the presentation, let me introduce ourselves first. Um, so the first one, my name is Lewardonis Nani as the moderator here, and the first speaker. The first speaker is Sophia. The second speaker is Intan Pujilestari. The third speaker is Fitri Andriani. Then the last speaker is Marsa Alifa Nabil. So let's move to the first slide. The first speaker, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, moderator. So I will explain about the introduction here. The syntax in passivization is the process of transforming a sentence from the active form to a passive form, which involves grammatical elements to the deep structure to make it meaningful. Chomsky derived passive sentence from underlying strings in syntactic structure by means of transformational rules, which constitute the basic linguistic model. The movement in the passivization occurs in the constituent NP inside VP, or noun phrase, and inside verb phrase. The above is an active sentence in which the NP, the children in the constituent, which will exhibit the movement in the passive counterpart. Okay, next. I will explain the first sentence in the Kazakhstanese local language. Kakak beli kentang desa lepa. So I will explain the active sentence first. So this is the active sentence because the subject kakak does the action. And the verb beli shows that the action of buying, and kentang is the action of that, and kentang is the object that receives the action. And the phrase desa lepa only gives extra information about the place. In an active sentence, the doer or the subject of the action comes first as the subject. Okay, next, I will explain the passive. The passive sentence here is kentang tebeli si kakak le desa lepa. So this is a passive sentence because the focus is on kentang, not on who did the action. Here, kentang becomes the subject, while kakak is moved to a by phrase or si kakak. The passive marker te shows that the action is passive, te beli. And then the location phrase le desa lepa stays the same, or the place, information about the place. And then in a passive sentence, the receiver of the action is more important than the doer, or than the doer. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you.
So the next.
Okay, I will explain the second sentence here. The second sentence we have Intan Atung Surat Cinta. So the left one is the active sentence and the right one is the passive sentence. So I will explain about the active sentence first. So Intan here in active sentence as the subject of the sentence. The verb is atung and surat cinta is the object. But surat here as the main noun and cinta as the modifier of the main noun, which is surat. So surat cinta here is the object. The word surat cinta from one noun phrase, where the surat is the main noun and cinta explain the type of letter, which is the modifier. And in the active sentence, the object stays after the verb. And then passive sentence. The passive sentence become Surat cinta Atung si Intan. So the object, which is Surat cinta, moves to the front of the sentence and become the subject. And the verb change into Atung. There is a prefix to show the passive form. And the phrase si Intan is added to show who did the action. Si here mean by. So that's all from me. The next material will be explained by my partner. Thank you.
So the third time.
Okay, thank you for the times. Here I wanna tell you about Papu Bali Renggi Lek Pekan. You can see here the tree diagram. Here the first that I wanna to explain is a passive active sentence. The active sentence here uses a clear subject, verb, object, and location structure. Papu, Papu, here Papu function as the subject because she is the one performing the actions. The next one is the verb beli expresses the act of buying, and renggi is the item affected by that actions. And the phrase late pekan indicates where the event took place. In this structure, the preposition late means at, and pekan function as the location noun. The sentence places its focus on Papu, the person performing the actions, which is typical of active constructions in Sasak, because the verb beli can form a passive person and the object renggi can be moved to the subject positions. This sentence can naturally undergo passivizations, become renggi tebeli si Papu le pekan. In English, renggi was bought by grandma at the market. The passive sentence restructures the original active sentence by moving renggi to the front and making it the subject. This shift changes the focus from the practice of the action to the one who experiences the actions. The verb also changes form. Beli becomes tebeli with the passive prefix te. Uh, it signaling that the action is received by the subject instead of performed by it. The phrase papu presents the original practice of the action in a by phrase similar to by grandma in English. But this element is optional in Sasak. Oh no, it's not optional. But when you change the active sentence become passive, so it's really important to use. Okay, that's all from me. I'll give back to the moderator. Thank you.
So the next slide here is amak toko lek kursi. This sentences amak tukul amak here is a father, which is as noun. Tukul here means sit or sat, which is the verb. Lek here, lek kursi here mean on the chair. So that's the object of this sentence. I will explain the active sentences first. In the active sentence, father here or ama is the subject performing the action for sit or tokol. So sit here is the verb, and like kursi on the chair shows the location or the object of the father. This sentence can be pacified because it contains a clear agent, which is the father or ama, that can be demoted. An object or location, which is the chair, kursi, that can be promoted to subject position, and a verb set here that can be that accept passive morphology in Sasak. Although kursi here is inside a prepositional phrase rather than being a direct object. Sasak grammar allows prepositional passive where object of prepositions can become subjects. Then the passive sentence analysis here. Kursi or chair becomes the new subject at the front, and the verb changes to tokol or set. See it here, with the passive prefix te, and ama moves to the end, marked by si or by. See here when by. So the preposition le is deleted because it's no longer needed. This specification works because Sasak has the grammatical tools needed. For example, the te, which is the passive prefix, and the si is the agent marker of the passive voice. And rules allowing prepositional objects to become subjects to subjects. Then the passive shifts focus from who is sitting, the father one, to what is being said on, the chair or the kursi. And the agent can be optionally omitted to say simply of kursi tatokol or the chair was set. So that's all mine. Next.
Okay, the next sentence is Sida bait ai lek lengko. In the active sentence Sida bait ai lek lengko, the noun phrase ai function as the internal argument inside the verb phrase because it is the direct object of the verb bait. This noun phrase is the constituent that will undergo movement when the clause is turned into its passive counterpart. In active voice, the external argument side occupies the subject position, while the verb assigns objecthood to I within the verb phrase. And during the passivization, I terbaik side lengko, the movement takes place in this internal noun phrase. The noun phrase I, originally positioned as the object inside the verb phrase, is moved to the subject position. To satisfy the requirement that passive clauses must have their person or theme as the grammatical subject. Meanwhile, the external argument side is demoted and we introduce in a by phrase marked by C. I think that's all.
Then the next one, the conclusion.
Okay, the last is conclusion. So our presentation has demonstrated how passivization works in Sasak language. We analyzed several examples showing how active sentence transform into passive forms following consistent grammatical patterns. And the key pattern we observed is the object moves to the front, the verb takes the the marker, and C introduce the original subject. So as our partner Andrea explained that the prefix to is really important when we turn the active sentence to the passive sentence. So understanding this transformation help us appreciate the grammatical structure of Sasak language and contributes to linguistic knowledge. So that's all. Thank you so much. I'll give back to the moderator.
So that's all our presentation about mini research syntax here. Thank you.